It's Madelaine and the owner of Sparkle Lifestyle and MediSpa, and today we're talking about fine line and wrinkles. It's actually a really popular subject, you know, what we can do about it. And I thought that the best way to explain it would be to bring on Tim. He's actually, we work together for Senior Owned Candela. I'm a clinical trainer for them, and he's my boss. She's awesome.
She's fantastic. You're doing an absolutely fantastic job.
Thank you so much.
Of course you would.
Thank you. So today I'm just talking about, you know, those fine line. I guess it all depends on your age, but let's say at my age, you know, they starting around my eyes, and yep. My frown lines, and I find my mouth a little bit. And then, you know, when you get in your 40s, they get a little bit deeper, and then we get older. So we're going to talk about what we can do at different age and what the treatment that can be done.
Sure.
So obviously, just before we get into this, I want to talk about sun protection. It's super essential.
Very important.
I think like it's the one thing that people don't realize how much important sun protection is. Put your sunscreen every day as you go. Drink tons of water, and obviously your skincare at home are really, really important. I always try to compare it to like you're going to the dentist when you're coming here, but you still need to brush your teeth at home.
Right.
So you need to.
It's a good analogy.
Yeah. So you need to kind of do that. So okay. So let's talk about what someone about my age. So you're just, you know, well, I guess I've been taking care of my suits. I don't have too much wrinkle. I love Botox. But let's say that someone that's between like 25, 30, when you want, like obviously they're doing skincare, but they just want to prevent a little bit more. What would you suggest?
Right. So, a very common thing, especially with millennials, okay? Mm-hmm. They're very young. They want things done now. They live in a tech age where everything's at their fingertips, which, you know, I think is a very good thing. But with regards to treating younger skin, you don't need that really heavy ablative devices. There's a lot of options out there with regards to preventative care. Mm-hmm. You mentioned sunscreen a little bit earlier. That's going to be a huge one that we really have to focus on. And the problem with it is that a lot of people don't reapply it. Yes. Right? So they'll put sunscreen on in the morning, and then, you know, they're outside, they're working, or even if you're in an office, you have to reapply that sunscreen. Yes. And some people are saying, you know, oh, I jumped in the pool but didn't apply their sunscreen afterwards. And then, you know, the tissue starts to dry out, the tissue starts to lax a little bit. And then therefore we get what's called oral rhytids. Okay, so your tissue actually begins to denature in some situations. Mm-hmm. So therefore you end up with fine lines and wrinkles. Mm-hmm. So at a younger generation, you know, you can actually come in and get skin tightening treatments done. They're non-ablative, they're very quick. Mm-hmm. You're just a little bit red, you know, for about 24 hours, maybe even less than that. Yeah. And of course, injections are always a good option, which I have to get touched up on a little bit. But as you get a little bit older, the thing is that those wrinkles and those fine lines, periorally or periorbitally, they actually become very deep, okay? So those rhytids, unfortunately, become very obvious. And it does show that, you know, it's signs of aging, okay? So, and here at Sparkle, for sure, they have everything from a Gentle Max Pro all the way up to, you know, CO2 devices where, you know, you can resurface the tissue completely. CO2 is the gold standard, in my opinion, I would say. With regards to resurfacing the tissue, you know, that reepithelialization, that wound healing response. So those strong results are going to come with something like CO2 for generations that are a little bit older that aren't interested, you know, going under general anesthesia for a facelift, right?
Yeah, and one thing that actually a new device, well, it's not new now, but we got that Pico way that have Resolve. And I find like, I'm really impressed, I'm seriously really impressed with the results for people that maybe are, you know, in between, where they don't really want the downtime associated with a CO2, but want something a little bit more than just the skin tightening. So can you just discuss a little bit what is the Resolve? Because I think it'd be okay.
Of course. So like Madelaine said, like you said, Madelaine, the Resolve is going to be kind of that intermittent area where, you know, your Gentle Max Pro is not just for younger generations. It's really for everybody. But then you get into something like Pico Way, which is, again, this world-renowned system, and it's absolutely fantastic.
Love it.
So if you're looking for facial treatments like that with what's called social downtime as opposed to clinical downtime, Resolve is definitely going to be an option there too. So Resolve does a great job. You know, we hear a lot about fractionation or fraction of the tissue, where what we do is that we actually leave the epithelial tissue intact.
I mean the surface of
the surface of the tissue. So we're not removing any skin. Okay, so therefore we're actually working from the dermal level at a longer wavelength, and then the epidermal level at a shorter wavelength. So your downtime in that situation is generally only about a day to 2 days. So it's not anything severe. So of course, I mean that 35 to 50 years old, you know, if they're not getting injections, they don't want to take that route. There's a lot of other options, and Resolve being a fantastic option that, you know, it's minimal downtime. You can apply a mineral foundation, 12 to 24 hours post-treatment. So it's not one of those Friday treatments where, you know, you need the weekend to recover and all those types of things. So it's a fantastic option.
Yeah. So I hope this helped you understand what you can do for fine line, wrinkles. Like I said, your skincare is super, super important. Sun protection is super important. Zinc oxide is definitely the ingredient that you need to look for. And if you just want a little bit more, that boost, we have like different treatment that we can definitely offer. You need to book a consultation to make sure which treatment is the right one for you. But
you need that skincare.
Yes,
you need that skincare. We do about 40% with 40 to 50% with laser, and everything on top of that. You have to make sure that you have really good skincare.
Yeah, that's super essential. To maintain, you need to protect your investment. Right. So if you have any question, comments, please comment below. We're always happy to answer your question, and we'll see you soon.
Of course.
Bye-bye.
Bye.